So this is Baruch Fleischman here at the Tikkun Elevator Kollel, and you can see what we have before us is a picture of Rabbeinu Yosef Chaim Zatzukal, the holy, famous author of the Ben Ish Chai. Now let me see what I'm doing here in terms of, this has to move like that. And there's a little blurb on this, but what I have now is I want to read to you, I just had to print this out. This is, they just use it without naming the word Chacham Yosef Chaim or Reb Yosef Chaim. They just start speaking. This is Wikipedia. He says this person was born in 1835 and he lived into quite a while until the 30th of August of 1909. Okay, so sounds like he was a Virgo, at any rate, Virgo sun. Iraqi Hebrew, his name was Yosef Chaim, was a leading Baghdadi Hacham, Sephardi rabbi, authority on halacha, Jewish law, master Kabbalist. He's best known as the author of this work on halacha, which is called the Ben Ish Chai, which means, translated simply into English, son of man, who lives. That is, the son of man, Chai, who's alive. Collection of the laws of everyday life interspersed with mystical insights and customs, addressed to the masses and arranged by the weekly Torah portion. Now, the Ben Ish Chai is that, as we know, as I said in the previous shiurim, that I really look mostly at what the Ben Ish Chai wants to say in Kabbalah as an insight into what he's about to teach in terms of halacha. And in Sephardic synagogues, this is very popular, extremely popular. He is really the icing on all of the cake of the prayer. So he said Reb Chaim initially studied in his father's library. He says at an early age of 10, he left the medrash, the schoolroom, the midrash, I guess they called it, and began to study with his uncle, David Chai Ben Ir. Now, he doesn't put titles, so let's call him HaChacham David Chai Ben Meir, who later found the Shoshanim LeDavid Yeshiva in Jerusalem. In 1851, he married Rachel, the daughter of Abdallah Samech. Now, this name I don't know, but we're learning them little by little. This is his prime mentor, with whom he had a daughter and 2 sons. When Reb Chaim was only 25 years old, his father died. Despite his youth, the Jews of Baghdad accepted him to fill his father's place as the reading rabbinic scholar of Baghdad. Though he never filled the official position of Chacham Bashi, apparently this is the highest position in the Sephardi world, the Sephardic Porat Yosef Yeshiva in Jerusalem was founded on his advice by Yosef Shalom of Calcutta, India, one of Reb Chaim's patrons. Reb Chaim clashed with the reformist Bavarian Jewish scholar Jacob Obermeyer, who lived in Baghdad from 1869 to 1880, and excommunicated him, the reformed Jew. Part of the contention was due to Obermeyer's and Reb Chaim's conflicting views on the promotion of the Zohar. Now, more we get into some of his works a little bit more, but right now, let me see if I haven't got it well marked, so let me find. Oh, we're back here. That's the reason why, because the Ben Ish Chai, like the Zohar, goes by parsha by each parsha. Now, all the best we could do here is, and that really the sensitive thing to do is to learn this, of course, in Hebrew, and we're going to translate it into English and make it possible for everybody to see this insight. Now, today actually has to be the 17th of Tamuz in the year 5783. So this is a day of fasting. And so previously he's been talking about, this concept that the Jewish people are compared to a worm. And so now we're going to develop this more, because he says that really the Jewish people, our real strength is in our mouths. Our mouth, which really refers to our prayer. But the halachot that he's going to be learning in the next couple of halachot, the halachot which he's introducing, have to do with eating. Because eating is also a way of refining the world and refining the godliness that is in everything. So let's read this little piece right now. He says, "Ma'achar shekol kocham milchamtam shel Yisrael." So he said, because all of the power and all of the wars that the Jewish people fight, ima klipa, with the false ideas, hu b'peh, is with our mouths. Kach tiknu chazal, so therefore the rabbis establish, I'll call achila v'shtia, on every single time we eat something, every time we drink something, bracha. We make a bracha, l'HaKadosh Baruch Hu, Hashem Yisbarach. Yan ki ha-yetzer hara hu maskane, because the yetzer hara is what? Is jealous. Mizgara b'peh, and is always hanging around the mouth. Yosef v'kol levarim shel adam. Always hanging around your mouth. Feed you too much, eat you too much, or saying the wrong things, saying things that are bad. Always hanging around there. As who negdi alov, because he is really the opposite. He's always opposite, trying to be an enemy. V'shama adam orech melchama ima yetzer hara. So therefore, since the yetzer hara is hanging around your mouth, so therefore this is the place where your war has to take place. Ve'in davar sheyicha the yetzer hara tagboras mitzido ala adam kamo taiva sechila v'shtia. There is no power. I'm thinking myself, that the yetzer hara has over us more than the power he has over eating and drinking. So therefore we establish brachos on this eating and this drinking. Why? So therefore we start off right away with making a bracha and looking for, well, if we have the kavanah, this wants to teach us. They have the kavanah to understand what we're doing when we're making this bracha, is that we're really putting a barrier between ourselves and the yetzer hara, or the power of illusion, or the power of our taivos, the power of our lusts. So he says this is their yetzer mechem nezek la'adam milchemes yetzer, so we shouldn't be hurt. Ela adar rabba, that when we make a bracha, yischazku kli milchama, you will fortify your weapons of war, shala adam, that you have as a man, shehem bapeh, that have to do with your mouth. The hachnia raw, in order to yetzer hara, in order to humble down, to beat down the yetzer hara. V'alkein amra b'sein zalza. Therefore the rabbis say, amazalza bebirchas hanehenim. A person who really gets very lax and doesn't really care about making a bracha when he's trying to get benefit from whatever it is he get benefit, particularly food and drink. Gorim ra la'atzmo lehitame bekari. This person, listen to words, he causes a tremendously bad thing to happen to himself, to become tame with a nocturnal admission. Shvicha zera lebatola. Now you see in many places in Kabbalah, this is an extremely important idea. He says, bar minan, that should not happen to us. Ki timshel bo chasitra achra, because once you start getting involved in not being important about what you're putting into your mouth, this is giving a chance for the other side to gain dominance. There's nothing to stop it from gaining dominance. Well, the opposite is true. A person, when you're about to eat, drink something, or get enjoyment for something, and you make a bracha, who yimsha b'yetzahar a mimshal rav, you will then find yourself controlling the yetzahar in a tremendously powerful way. And you will repair inside of yourself. In other words, make yourself a more pure channel to receive the light of Hashem. Atzim v'rav, and that would be powerful and magnanimous. Al kain rei kama v'kama tzarech ada dezacha b'brachos. So therefore, you have to see why that a person has to be very careful about the brachos he makes. Below Yahweh atzma de bracha lebatola, and not bring himself to a bracha, a wasted bracha, saying something without kavanah, without realizing exactly what you're involved in. Lo yiske v'yite behemen, so that you shouldn't make a mistake. So he says yishke. He says yes, the shigige. Be negligent about it. Make a mistake with that. But this is what you need to do when you go to make a bracha. have tremendous kavanah that what this is doing is strengthening and fortifying yourself against the fight with the other side. V'ozhu tov lo v'tov la'olam, and then it will be good for him and good for the world. And he proceeds on to tell us a halacha. Let's look at the first halacha here. Get an idea what he says. He says, Al peres e'ilim b'varchim, so if you have fruit from trees, you say, Borei pri ha'etz. Baruch atah Hashem Elokeinu melech haolam, Borei pri ha'etz, who created the fruit of the tree. Then he says, on fruits that come from the ground, Mevarchim, the bracha that we make is Borei pri ha'adama, who created the fruit of the land. Amashalo tikno the vorag Borei pri ha'aretz, and what we didn't do that. Bifnei kishem eretz. Why wouldn't he say? Why did it say Borei pri ha'adama, and it didn't say Borei pri ha'aretz? What's the difference between aretz and adama? So why adama means land and aretz means land? So why didn't he say that? Bifnei kishem eretz, because he wants to say it's this little secret. The word eretz itself, meshuvach yosim b'shem adama. It's a more important form. More, it's a higher level. Adama is lower. Chadad, this chada mishmias dorshim, so we can see this in one place. The ha'aretz hu lashon ritzui. Ritzui means acceptance. The od shem eretz, so eretz goes along with the concept of ritzui, being accepted. Nizkar techila b'teres is also mentioned first in the Torah. But pasuk Bereshis is the first pasuk of the pasuk of Bereshis. V'vagan bebrias ha'olam, so they're also there. Nizkar Shem Eretz, there you see the word Eretz. The Eretz has a very high level, but Adama is more common. Yosef Agam Nizkar Shemo Shala Kodesh Baruch Hu Allahu, so that's the reason why we also mentioned over there that the name of Hashem is also mentioned. That's it. It's like this, Bereshis Bar Elokem, as the Shemayim Vesa Aretz, so you see the name of God, Elokem, also referring to land. Once again, Elokim made the eretz and Shemayim. So therefore, this reason, so in order to be able to bring really the proper honor to bread, which should be the basis of a meal, which is really the highest level, making a bracha on a motzei lechem in haaretz. His kira bo levado shema haaretz. That's the only one that you make the word, you use the word haaretz, bebirchas hamotzi lechem min haaretz. There it changes. So what we see like this is that fruit of the ground. What if that is of adama? What is adama? So what is that? Like potatoes, something like that, or any vegetable, just vegetable. So he says they're considered to be common. They're considered to be I don't want to say they're not holy, but they're of a lesser light. But when you talk about bread, v'shem adama, it really just put it on certain types of fruit, like tomatoes or bananas or, let's see, whatever, just a common fruit that's not one of the species found in Eretz Yisrael, the 7 species. V'harav shiure brocha. So the I don't know, the leftovers of the bracha, shetikno bebirchas aperu shem adama. So we put the word adama over there when we're reading common fruits. Because there are 55 different types of fruits that come from the ground. In other words, like lemons and oranges and so on and so forth. Communion adama, because the gematria of the word adama also comes to be 55. So he says that those two go together. Ein Sham. So nearly, this is Zer Ire al Perish Yesh Be'eretz Yisrael B'meichem. So when he got that quote where he says there are 50 different types of fruits, that had to do with the land of Israel itself during the days of the rabbis. But the world itself, Elsher the Matzoi. Maybe you're going to find Yosim in the Chamisha. Maybe you can find more than 55. Maybe that's all there is. That should give you an idea of the taste of the Ben Ish Chai and his Kabbalah leading into the brachos. This is Baruch Fleischman.